Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Ecom Edge. This is the first e-commerce podcast that's focused on how enterprise brands, manufacturers, and teams like yours can be smarter with data, technology, and resources to gain that very important competitive edge. We recently did a survey of 4,000 consumers and found that more and more shoppers are looking to do their holiday business with retailers that align with their own values, and that includes corporate philanthropy. If you're one of the growing numbers of retailers interested in learning how to get involved with corporate giving, and to do so easily, then you're going to love today's cast and today's guest. Molly Trerotola, Head of Social Giving at ShoppingGives.com. She's going to be here to talk about the growing surge in corporate philanthropy, why shoppers like it, and how you can easily begin fundraising for your own or your customers' charities. You're listening to the Ecom Edge, brought to you by Coveo, and I'm your host, Diane Burley. Molly, welcome.
Hi, Diane. Thank you so much for that intro. It's great to be on this call with you.
Well, I'm really excited to talk to you. First of all, I've never heard of a head of social giving before, and during our conversations when we were speaking, I met you at a trade show. You're a social impact leader, helping brands build corporate giving programs, and you've been doing this for like your entire career. How did you get into this?
Well, that's a great question. I started off working at a nonprofit based in Lima, Peru, centered on public health. And then I transitioned into CSR from the agency space when I was working for Pfizer, on the agency side, helping to communicate around their CSR initiatives, specifically their advancement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which I'll bring up later in this conversation. So just remember that term, UN Sustainable Development Goals. And from that opportunity, having worked at a nonprofit and understanding the challenges nonprofits face on a daily basis, specifically as it comes to fundraising, and then transitioning into CSR and getting to witness the tangible impact that companies can have on helping nonprofits achieve their missions with financial support as well as skills-based support, it really committed me wholeheartedly to the social impact space and bridging the gap between the civic and the public and the private sector. And that's where I am today, doing exactly that, but from inside of a SaaS tech company that is helps facilitate these relationships and drives more impact with every action.
Well, it's funny, the way I met you was we were both at the same trade show and we both had our little booths, but this one had so many people around the booth all the time. What was it that they were so interested in, and why was that line just nonstop?
I'm really glad you mentioned that because that's really our experience at every conference, and we're lucky to have an impact-focused business. We appear at retail events, and retailers are looking for better ways to market to their consumers and engage their customers. And then when they come to our booth, they're like, what? Philanthropic giving? Are you even at the right conference? And it's inspiring to them to find out that there's a tech platform that serves those types of companies and helps them connect with nonprofits and give more effectively. And it's also something brands know they need to do, but they're not sure how to go about doing it. So we provide them with the solution to that. And I think, that combination makes it just an exciting and kind of new topic for these retail companies to embrace.
Here at Coveo, we started, we too got involved with our 1% pledge, and that would be 1% of our time, our equity, profits, and product are given to organizations focused on knowledge and education. We chose knowledge and education in underserved areas. And the 1% of our equity is going to groups like Actual, Love, Point, Girls Start, Interlean, and Environmental Defense. I had to get the plug in here. But we are also giving away time and product, offering our software and consulting to Alloprof, which is a Quebec-based organization. And so 80% of our giving is to Canadian companies, 20% to US. And that we figured that would be good because we could make that good social impact. It's a Canadian-based company, and we're doing it there. So that's how we got involved. And then we set up all of these different groups within the organization that were out looking at how do you become a B certified corporation and all that. But you make it one-stop shopping. You literally, you facilitate all of that for companies. You make it really easy, don't you, to get involved with philanthropic giving?
Yeah. Well, to be clear, we specifically focus on the philanthropic giving piece. When you look at CSR as an umbrella theme, there are lots of different verticals. There is, yes, the financial philanthropic giving and the partnerships brands have with nonprofits, but then a lot of the things you mentioned companies can do to really further their business from a sustainability perspective, from a diversity, equity, and inclusion perspective. And so we kind of cover one pillar, and we do make that one pillar extremely, extremely easy, especially when you think about the compliance regulation and all of the complexities brands face when hoping to partner with a nonprofit. We cover all of the bases and then provide the technology to do so. So I think, some of the larger companies who already have these initiatives in place, they really like using our tech for the seamless approach to something that they already know they need to do, and we help them do it better.
All right, let's back it up a little bit. Why do shoppers like it so much? Why is this a relationship that shoppers are actually, they're looking for it, they're motivated by it? What has your research shown?
So there are lots of reports out there, including one you referenced earlier in the call, that people want to buy from companies that align with their values. Customers vote with their dollars, and more customers are holding companies accountable for walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So if a brand says we support BLM or here are our values, they want to see that the dollars are behind that. So when a customer goes to a brand's website and they see right on the product page that this brand is going to plant one tree with the purchase or donate $1 to an amazing organization like Black Girls Code, that incentivizes the purchase. So it's beneficial for the company as well, but the customer wants to know that the brand they're buying from, they're giving their money to, is really purpose driven. So we make it easy for them to do that.
And you brought up so many different things. There's a lot of different impactful ways that the companies can be giving. You mentioned that, see this product and it proceeds, or rounding up, I think, are some of the things that you talked about. You shop, we give, buttons like that. So your platform helps them choose this. They can choose it by product category. How does it work?
So we approach every conversation with a brand with simply, what are you hoping to accomplish? And what are your cause areas of focus? What makes you tick as a company? What are your values? And what are your customers' values? And from that information gathering, we help them come up with a strategy for what nonprofits to give to and how to engage their customers in order to make those donations. For some companies, it's more effective to give a flat dollar amount per purchase. For example, we're donating $1 per this purchase to plant one tree. For some companies, they want to give a percentage of purchase. Some will set up portfolios of products of a certain color that are dedicated to a single organization. And then other brands really want to learn about their customers' philanthropic preferences and leave it up to their customers to drive where the dollars go. So as a customer, like myself, for example, one of my favorite nonprofits is She's the First, focused on international girls' education. And if I arrive to one of our brand's websites who lets customers choose who to give to, I can dedicate that dollar amount to a nonprofit of my choice. And it generates goodwill and loyalty among customers and really democratizes philanthropy in that sense.
So that's like Amazon's Smile, right? Where you have a choice of the 501c3s and you're choosing it, and then you know that a portion of your purchases is going to go there. Is that how that works?
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes we say we are the Amazon Smile, but for all other brands to integrate that technology on their website. That being said, the monetary impact is a lot higher, and the direct impact to the nonprofit tends to be a lot higher.
Now, how does that dissemination of funds actually take place? Is that going through your platform to the organization, or does the entity have to cut another check?
Oh, well, that's our bread and butter. We have this very complex back-end technology and a proprietary database of over 1.8 million US registered nonprofits, and actually some Canadian nonprofits as well for your Canadian listeners. And we facilitate end to end the entire process, from when a donation is generated, when a customer makes a purchase, all the way to getting those funds into the hands of the benefiting nonprofits. What happens in the middle is pretty complex and something the ShoppingGives technology handles, but we have funds are funneled through the ShoppingGives Foundation. So when a brand gives, they're actually giving to the ShoppingGives Foundation, and then our foundation will handle granting those funds to the benefiting nonprofit. But basically, all brands need to know is the complexity of having to calculate donations and send those donations to nonprofits. Our tech covers that to make it easy for them.
And from a governance standpoint, that's good because you actually have a verified checklist that this is actually taking place.
Yes, exactly. So to get into the compliance piece a little bit, brands have to engage in commercial co-venture agreements, and nonprofits have to maintain complex state registrations in order to engage in cause marketing partnerships, which makes it really exclusive to high earning nonprofits and then brands who have those extra funds to do that. Our system covers brands from a compliance perspective through our setup with the ShoppingGives Foundation, which really, going back to democratizing philanthropy, gives brands of all sizes and nonprofits of all sizes access to this type of technology.
You know, I have to tell you, I'm telling our listeners right now that is no small feat to be able to collect the funds and disperse, because I was years and years ago building a shopping cart for a Microsoft programmer and a catalog, and we had to be able to get funds back to the different publishers as well as to it was like this whole convoluted, and these handoffs have to take place, and there's a lot of there's a lot of code that goes into making sure that happens accurately.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And actually, there's a member of my team who handles that entire process on a monthly basis, sends out the grants. And it is a very complex process, but every time we're able to make these giant grants to nonprofits, it fuels what ShoppingGives does. Like, that's our mission, granting more and more funds and getting brands involved in more philanthropic giving. So we're always happy to do it.
Molly, a lot of people would ask, how long does this take to set up? And when I'm looking at costs, what does it typically cost to get in the game? I mean, let's start and where do people start? Do they start with the whole shebang, or are they've starting at typically starting at, well, let me try this?
Yeah. I'm going to give kind of a cop-out answer, which is the mindset should be, well, yes, it depends. But the place to start is the mindset that you want to give as a brand. You want to give, maybe you don't know how to or who to give to, but you know that in order to succeed as a brand, giving back is really a core component of your business's success.
Okay.
Apart from that, we really support brands through every step of the process. From a cost perspective, we have partnership tiers that are appropriate for every size of brand, starting at a pay-as-you-go, like entry-level tier, so brands can get their feet wet and giving through our technology, all the way to more enterprise-level brands. And that's also reflected in our brand community. We have brands of all sizes, from startup retailers all the way to Coach, Kenneth Cole, Steve Madden, brands that are giving a lot on an annual basis through our technology. And apart from that, we provide resources and a la carte consulting services to help brands really be successful. I hope that answers your question.
And what is the length of time it takes to typically set it up? Is it weeks, months, years?
Oh, definitely not. I mean, with our out of the box technology, it can be as easy as a couple hours. A brand can download our Shopify app from the App Store and get started within an hour or two. If there's more integration involved, then they'll work with our team and customization to customize that approach. But so yes, it depends on what the brand is trying to accomplish. But for Shopify brands, they can leverage our out of the box services and be up and running in the same day.
So I'm assuming you have like the little social buttons and banners, and it's just a case of customizing them with whatever offer you want. It's automatically up there.
Yep.
Do you,
So
do you help with the social as well? Because I would assume that there's a lot of social benefits to be able to talk about your social impact.
by social, do you mean social media?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do provide marketing recommendations for
Okay.
brands. The success of their campaigns is really dependent on how they market it to their customers. So
Mm-hmm.
if they have our technology on the website and say, you can shop and we'll donate a percentage of purchase, it might take customers a little while to find that call to action. If they're actually marketing it over social media and email to their customers, not only will the philanthropic campaign be more successful, but they'll also get more of a sales result.
So one of the things that you were talking about, you and I were chatting about, is the fact that you too are getting involved with, like us, companies have resources, technologies that they want to give, and you're actually helping facilitate that now a little bit too, as well, aren't you?
Yeah, so we do consult with companies and help play matchmaker between companies and nonprofits. Oftentimes, our existing partners will come to us and say, hey, we want to launch a fundraiser for Giving Tuesday, or we'd like to give back to a nonprofit for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Do you have any in your archive who are interested in partnering with us? So I'm playing matchmaker on a weekly basis, making these connections. And for the brands, it's valuable because they could probably do this research on their own, but they want a pre-vetted list of nonprofits that they know are not only in good standing with the IRS, but are highly rated charities and are open to these types of partnerships. And that's where our relationships can come in handy.
Do you have any numbers that show how the needle gets moved if a brand actually has these types of social impact motivators, if you will, on their site?
Yeah, so we have some case studies that are accessible on our website about increased average order value, which is a common term in the retail space that I had to learn coming from the social impact space. But essentially, products with a donation component are earning more money from customers. So customers are spending more when there's a donation component. So essentially, donors spend more, and if a brand is incorporating a donation component, the average order value will likely be higher. We're also calculating data on lifetime value of the product and how it can help engage customers' lifetime engagement with a brand. So it can help transform a one-time giver into a returning customer, and then also reducing cart abandonment at checkout.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You wanted to circle back to something earlier, and you gave an acronym. I don't remember which acronym. It was not CSR. That was something else. You're talking about a UN.
The UN Sustainable Development Goals.
That's it.
So, yeah, I wanted to bring those up because they're 17 goals that the UN instated in 2015 to achieve by 2030. The goals are clean water, good education, life on land, life below water, partnerships for the goals, clean energy, these common themes that also align with cause areas brands are likely to give back to. And when we work with brands and they say, I have no idea who to give to, what I usually consult with them on is, why don't you pick 2 or 3 cause areas that you're really passionate about, or areas that you want to further? And I reference the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We reflect that in our technology by building these cause portfolios brands can choose from. So if they know that they're passionate about one cause area, but not really a specific nonprofit, they can actually select to support our cause portfolio of breast cancer awareness nonprofits, or nonprofits that work on women empowerment or reproductive health rights. And by selecting those cause portfolios, the customer donations are divided equally among those nonprofits, but they're giving back to a certain initiative instead of a single nonprofit.
Do you find, or where do you find brands are in their social impact journey when they join you? Are they just in the very beginning? Have they been trying to do it on their own and they've just I can't deal with this anymore? What is the spectrum?
Usually brands know they want to do something. Mm-hmm. It depends on the size of the brand. So for the smaller ones, they know they want to give. Maybe they've been giving back on their own with just a single donation, but haven't done anything to engage their customers in their social impact. So there is a foundation of, a philanthropic mindset, which is why I said it has to start with the mindset. A brand needs to know that they want to give back to make a positive impact. For the larger brands, they usually have existing relationships with nonprofits and philanthropic programs, and they're really looking for the tech piece to facilitate the entire process and then also cover them from a compliance perspective.
All right. So what is the name of the platform? It's the ShoppingGives platform?
Yep. It's called ShoppingGives in the Shopify App Store. Our app is called Change Commerce app. We're also in Shopify Plus. So for Shopify users, that's where they can find us. But we can work with brands on any CMS.
I think you're also a Salesforce partner as well, aren't you?
Yep, we are.
Good. So if you're getting ready to dip your toe in, or you want to dive in fully and you're in the corporate philanthropy space and social impact, think about ShoppingGives this upcoming holiday season. Molly, I really appreciate your time. And to all of you listening, please, I hope you think about coming back and joining us again.
Thank you so much, Diane.
And to all of you listening, please rate and subscribe to the Ecom Edge or on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Bye now.